Bang! Neeves Knives. I'm Jared. My lovely wife, Kara, is not joining us today, but we got a bunch of stuff to go over and talk about. So we're going to start off with some nice stuff, and then after the first hour, we will get into some stories. 7:30 starting time. Yeah, it's 7:30 right now. Bang. So one in just a minute, I'm gonna throw on the knife cam because we got a new knife and we're gonna do and this is gonna be a first impression because I literally just unboxed it. I actually got it for Kara, so I had her unbox it. It is the Fox Baby Core. I thought it looked cool. It looked like something that she would love. So we're gonna talk about it for a second here in a second. So I got a comment, somebody asking me, why would you need to be able to get your knife out fast and more importantly back into your pocket fast? Basically, that was basically the question, was why would you need to get it back in your pocket fast? What's up, Mr. Matt, Teddy, Metallica, Ed? Seems logical, everybody. um well, first off, I just want to say that, let's go over the want before like the need. The want to, why would you want to be able to put your knife back in your pocket fast? So um a long time ago, I'm gonna go over like a couple people I've worked with. So this one guy I used to work with, he let's just let's call him Breeze. Knows a couple of these guys, and I'm gonna use these names just because he'll know who I'm talking about. But let's call the one guy Rusty. Okay, let's just say Rusty. But the guy didn't work fast, but he worked at a pace, right? And this pace made it to where even though he wasn't working fast, he kept a steady pace. So by the end of the day, he got a lot done, always a lot done. And he was a good person you wanted on your team for working, knew a lot. And like I said, he could get a lot done. Then there's this other guy. Let's just call him Critter. Okay. just for laughing sake. Um, a guy who knew a lot, but was so slow, never got nothing done. It seemed like an 8-hour day could go by and there wasn't nothing done. Maybe one thing when you should have had 20 things done. And it made him like not like a very valuable person or a great asset to the team, right? And then there's the other guys that are very fast to get a lot of stuff done. Well, me personally, when I'm working, I try to be a great adversary to the team, regardless of what it is. I want to be one of the hardest workers. When people are looking at me, some people might not look at it like that. And if that's not you, then maybe you're a critter. I don't know. I don't want to be slow, and I don't want to be looked at as somebody who's not very important to the team, regardless what it is. I want to be looked at as one of the most hardest working people in the room. Like I said, regardless the job. And so when I'm working, I want to be able to do things fast. And even like today, like the work I do, I use my knife all the time. A lot of people don't. Regardless, though, when I take out my knife and I do use it, getting it back in my pocket fast makes my whole job faster. If I take out my knife, say 20 times in a day and use it, and if I'm spending, a few seconds to put it back in my pocket, then that's a few seconds I'm taking away from doing something else, especially if I have to use both hands, or, if I got to fumble with it, if I have to set it down, then I got to come back for it, and kind of like with, like when you do construction, if you are off by an eighth of an inch on every measurement, by the time you get to the end, you're going to be off 6 inches. It's kind of like that with time during the day. If you're slow 3 seconds here, 5 seconds there, then by the end of the day, you've wasted. And some people would say, well, what's a couple minutes, right? But sometimes to the crew or to other people, you're wasting time. And so to me personally, and this is just me, other things aren't as important to some people. I like to be as fast as I can with specific things. And if I need to take out my knife really quick, make a cut, make 5 cuts, whatever, and then maybe I need to use this hand, right? I got to now put this stuff down to close. If you know it's that kind of knife, close my knife, then put it up, or or whatever. I want to be able to get it back in my pocket, get this hand back to work as fast as possible, or as easy as possible. Now, a reason why you might need to be able. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. A reason why you might need to do that. It could be many reasons why you might need to, but I'm gonna go with getting it out of your pocket fast, because if you can get it in your pocket fast, you usually can get it out pretty quick. I guess not, maybe not. I guess getting it in your pocket is a little different than getting it out, but I told this story before, and I've been in situations like this, but this is the one that's sparking my mind again. Like the last time I told it, I was in a tree. We were cutting down a tree, and when you're cutting down a tree, you rope off the branches, somebody might be on the ground pulling on the rope so that when it cuts, you can yank it towards the direction you want to. Um, and, sometimes there'll be a guy up in the tree cutting down the smaller limbs before the big limbs, or, cutting down the limbs and then you cut it down in sections. I've taken down lots of trees in my life. And we used to have all the harnesses and everything so you can get up there, tree climbing harnesses and everything. Anyways, but we didn't always use that type of stuff. Sometimes it was just an easy job. And before we had all the harnesses, we just, did it with, whatever you had, a rope and a chainsaw. Anyway, so I'm up in the tree and the rope is hooked to the branch, and it gets, how's it go? It gets cut, or maybe one collapsed, whatever happened. One of the branches came down, and it wound up snagging the rope and yanking it, and the rope came through the center, or the gap in the tree where I was sitting, basically, because I was like sitting on like a branch, like a tree goes up and then there's like a branch like this. I'm like sitting on the crotch, like near the crotch, and the rope came around and snagged me, and it yanked me, but it didn't take me out of the tree, but the weight would have. Like it was really tight on me. And I had my knife, I pulled it out and I snagged it, and I cut the rope, and then the branch continued to fall. So it didn't get me out of the tree, but eventually the weight would have. And if that branch was any heavier, I wouldn't have been able to hang on. It did snag me really good. Like afterwards, I had, I guess black and blue marks, kind of like bruising around my waist. Like it snagged me good. But that was like a situation where I was really happy that I had a knife that I got out fast, got deployed fast, and got it snagged before it did yank me out, with the chainsaw and everything else. Um, and I've been in situations like that so many times. So many times. I remember one time a ladder went out from underneath me when I had a concrete saw up on a wall. And I got lucky enough I caught the beam when it fell, and I actually caught the saw too, which was crazy. But I think being able to get your knife out, if you use your knife for work, if you don't, like there's a lot of people, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter at all. But in a lot of work scenarios, when you do use your knife, and not talking about dangerous situations at all, I'm just talking about convenience. Making it convenient to be able to get your knife out, get it open, make your cut back in your pocket, to me is very important. Not because I have to, but because it makes life easier, because I want it, because I like it. It's kind of like I could also use a knife with shitty ergonomics that just hurts my hand all day, but I'd like to have a comfortable knife. So I just thought that was a subject, because somebody asked me that, and I just couldn't fathom that. I couldn't like imagine in my head like how they couldn't imagine why that would be a good thing, why you would need to or want to be able to put your knife back in your pocket fast. And it's not like it's a life-saving thing that you need to get in your pocket fast. It's a convenience thing. At least into the pocket. Out of the pocket's a different story. That, and the faster you can get it back in your pocket, obviously, the faster you can get it out. Now, I got a question for some of you guys, especially the guys. How many people are in here? Let me look. 47. Okay, so I'm sure there's some Hinderer fans in here. that know a lot about hinders and the generations. So this is going to be a generational question because someone in the community they got a hinder and they're kind of worried that it might be a clone. I don't think so looking at it, but so it looks like it's an older generation. Hey, mostly folders. Thank you, man. Scary towards getting the right PPE. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Um, Thank you very much. So the generations, it's definitely an older generations because it's not a triaway. So what generation used phosphor bronze washers? I know the older generations used Teflon. At least I think. I haven't had one, so I can't personally say from experience, but I thought the oldest ones used Teflon. And then did they go on to phosphor bronze? Where in Southern Illinois are you from, Jared? I'm not from Southern Illinois. I'm from Northern Illinois, right by the border. Um, Tell him to do a spine test. Spine whack it a few times and see if it fucking fails. I just have the Waypoint. How's that? Monster Racing says, Tatelica, I see your Instagram. I missed my hinders. They were stolen when my collection was stolen. Oh man, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. Man, I hate that for people when their knife collection gets stolen, man, because it still kills me inside. Some of the knives I've lost, like irreplaceable knives, it still kills me. And not because like I can't because they were like passed down. So it wouldn't matter if I got the same knife or not. It's not the same knife. It sucks. But anyways, so if any of you guys are really good at identifying hinders, if you could contact me on Instagram or through email, I'd love to find out if just give her a hand and let her know if they did get. I don't think they did. I just think it's an older generation, but you never know. But yeah, like I said, I think it's on phosphor bronze washers. Um, so actually talking about that, I was gonna ask or talk about the worst things we see in the community. And we were just talking about something getting stolen, so I might as well. Which I wasn't going in that direction, but like a lot of people would say, counterfeit knives. I think that's a horrible thing, counterfeit knives, because it sucks for the people that design, and especially if they made it like it was their design, they made that knife, so on and so forth, that somebody goes and copies it and then sells it for really cheap. Now, I don't think that takes away from them, because I don't think the guy who buys the counterfeit for $20 was ever going to buy the $300 knife. Or maybe they will. Maybe they buy the counterfeit and they find out and they say, man, I got to experience the real thing. But it's got to suck at some end, because I imagine like if I made a design, and I'm just going personal here, if I made a personal design and then I seen somebody else was knocking it off and making it so shitty, and then like I seen people that had gotten it and they're talking crap about it, or possibly maybe they like it but it's not even the real thing, like I know that would suck. And it does. I don't think it takes food off their plate, but you never know. I guess you could always go deep into it. Now, one thing I don't like from the knife community is when a company won't let you take apart the knife that'll void the warranty. I think that is insanity, because it's a tool. It's a tool. You should be able to maintain your tools, and I think that's very important. Wait. Um, I accidentally read Jared White's name as my own. I thought somebody was talking to me. But yeah, so I definitely like to be able to maintain my tools, and I think that's important. Baby, you're loud. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to scream into the mic. Hey, baby, shut the fuck up. I'm just joking. What else? I personally think bad clips, man. I can't stand it now. I didn't used to hate it. I used to be okay with it with bad clips. It was never really that big of a deal to me. But now going through um so many pairs of pants and tearing them up. Oh, I hate it. Okay, I see we got 40 likes. Instead of doing the rock set, we're going to take a look at this baby core. So you guys won't hear me for a half a second. There we go. All right. So the micarta, that's the one thing it's canvas micarta, but I don't know if it's the best quality. I mean, the finish is pretty good. I just don't know if it's the best cut. Looks like a titanium backspacer, wire clip, which you already know works good. This is a small guy. Where am I going? It is small. The action is really good. But I don't know. It kind of reminded me of the Ace Biblio. And since Kara, really liked it and hated it at the same time, I figured she might like this one even more. And so far, she does. The tip does get thicker, though, I noticed. So up here is actually thicker than the rest of the grind instead of being nice and even. I haven't measured it yet. You probably won't be able to see it. But these are made in Italy. Fox knives. This is M390. Canvas micarta. Steel wire clip and steel liners. And I think it's either I think it's a brass backspacer, to be honest. I don't think it's titanium. I think it's brass. Seems like it's brass. It just looks like brass. I've seen a lot of brass in my life. At least it looks like it. All right, let's come back up. Breeze, echo. Oh, is it echoing? I'm sorry, guys. My bad. I think I need to replace that wire. We might not use that camera today again. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Damn it, Jerry. What I need to do is I need to oh, you know what? Let me try something. Tell me if it does it again. I don't want to mess you guys up, but I'll do it really quick. Please let me know. Can you guys is it still there? Is it still there? Is it still there? Was it still there? The knife cam just needs to mute the microphone. No, I got a wire hooked into it. So I might be able to mute the microphone, but oh, that was good like that? Okay, so I had to turn it down. Let me try it one more time. Tell me if you guys hear it. How is it? How is it? How is it? How is it? For all who missed it, let me pull that up. Realizer Network says, for all who missed it, if you want a Fox Box Dapper from Blade HQ, you can order them right now. Add it to your wish list, logged in, then go to your wish list and you can add to the cart. Got mine. A little bit of advertising. Never mind that. Okay, so it sounds good. Awesome, awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. Thank you. So, and then I wanted to talk about good geometry versus bad geometry and how it affects the life of the knife. Because I think that this might be even more important. Thank you. Seems logical. Thank you very much. No, I don't. It's not the full. It's not when it's the full thing. It was me turning the mic down because what I do is I cut a wire and I put it into the microphone so that I can't hear it when I'm talking. Otherwise, I'll hear it out of the microphone, but I have to have something hooked up. Otherwise, having this camera so close to this, it screeches. So, but I don't think it'll do it even if it's big. It should be the same, even if it's big or small, the mic. So geometry and how it affects the life of the knife. So when you have bad geometry, bad blade geometry, meaning the grind, the thickness from the spine to the edge. Let's just pull up a knife. So we have the Civivi riffle here. From the spine thickness to the edge thickness, that taper from here to here. That being good or bad. Bad would be very thick spine, very thick behind the edge, not a lot of taper, kind of like an axe. Okay. Good geometry would be like a kitchen knife. Um, the spine doesn't have to be thin. It helps, but the taper from the spine to the edge should be a nice slow drop, a slow taper, and then it should get down to nice and thin behind the edge. The thinner the edge, the better when it comes to cutting. Now, same thing with the life of the knife. The thicker it is, every time you sharpen it, it's going to get thicker. So if you chip your edge, let's say you're using your knife and it chips, you have to remove quite a bit of steel. Now that knife is going to cut so much worse than it originally did when it was new. Also, how many more sharpenings are you going to get out of it? If it's nice and thin, it might chip easier because it's thin. But if you're cutting stuff, if you chipped it, it'll still be fine. After chipping it, you'll be able to sharpen that steel out. It'll still be nice and thin behind the edge, and it'll still get great cutting performance. Also, if you have a good sharpening choil added onto that, plus the good geometry, you'll have a lot of life, right? It removing steel isn't a big deal when you have good geometry. It's made to be used. It's made for long-term use. That's why when I look at a knife with bad geometry, I don't just look at it like, man, this thing's gonna cut like crap. I also look at it and say, man, the life of this thing is so short. I'm gonna get a few sharpenings out, and then I'm never gonna want to use it because nobody wants to use something that's this thick behind the edge. That like it's why wouldn't you just use something else, right? If you're cutting with something that sucks to push through materials, you're just gonna grab another knife. Then, especially if it's expensive, if you pay all this money for a great work knife, right? This is my work knife. This is my tool. Then you buy it. Then you can't even push it through materials. So then you wind up just using something else. So then you wind up buying a $300 or $150 knife, but then you wind up switching it out for a Civivi, and that sucks. Sometimes you want that good work knife to just keep performing for at least a year or two, At least that's the way I look at it. When I have a good work knife, I want to, use it for a couple of years, at least a full year. Nobody probably remembers the Gerber Gator, but that's the first knife I experienced that problem on. I could see that. The first one I experienced it on that I guess was very knowledgeable on it was the Zero Tolerance 0450. I probably had experienced it way before that because I had used hundreds of knives before that, but that's when I really noticed it because the heat treat was bad. So I kept trying to sharpen it and I removed a bunch of steel. And then now it was super thick behind the edge and it just cut like crap. It didn't cut good from the start, let alone after that. So that's when I really paid attention to it. Evil E says, do you like the Kershaw Dividend composite? I don't know about the composite. I like the Kershaw Dividend. I'm not big on composites. If you're talking about, are you talking about like FRNs and GFNs and stuff like that? Is that what you're talking about? If that's what you're talking about, I don't like it. I'd rather have aluminum or G10. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Benchmade 940 dash. Where'd it go? I'm all messed up. Sorry, guys. Metallica says, if I can ever get it to come up, 940-2 was the one for me. Same thing. It's actually the 0450 and the 940 have a similar grind geometry. The blade shape's different, but the grind and geometry is very similar. And that's kind of the thing I was just talking about, when you have, like, if you don't have that taper, you don't have that slow taper, that's a fast taper because the blade is only this tall. When a knife is only, this isn't one of them, but if the knife's only this tall, you don't have far to go. That's why, to me, it's like, if you have a knife this tall, it should be a hollow grind. I feel like it should be mandatory, right? What? I mean, especially if it's going to be thick behind the edge. This happens to be extremely thin, which this is the Quiet Carry Waypoint. Great geometry, nice and thin blade stock. It kind of reminds me of the Elementum, the big Elementum, the button lock Elementum. They have the same shape, very similar grind. The button lock has better sharpening choil, and obviously it's better in the hand because it's thicker and bigger. This has a thinner blade stock though, so this technically passes through materials easier, but that one's easier to push through. So you kind of get, it's like one's better in one area, one's better in another. I don't think I've ever seen these before today, but I seen you guys probably know what it is. David Lespeck's knives. I seen it on Instagram. I could probably pull it up and show you guys one. Those things look pretty badass. I'm sure they're expensive as all hell, but his Instagram was knives underscore David underscore Lespect. Lespect. They look pretty damn awesome. It seems like the Waypoint would be, sorry, I should pull this up when I do it. Seems logical. Says it seems like the Waypoint would be better cutting through softer and lighter materials. Yeah, because you don't have that the ergos. Don't get me wrong, it's comfortable in the hand. It's comfortable. It's just the whole knife is thin, so, and it's not tall, so it is skinny and thin in the hand. It's still very comfortable and it pushes through great because the blade stock is so thin, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit better with lighter materials, but it works great for cardboard. I mean, it slices like a beast. But now when you get a grind like this with ergos like this, now we're in business. Now you're talking real comfortable cutting. So I was thinking about hunting knives because I used to have so many hunting knives because I used to hunt all the time, and the best hunting blade shape, is clip point. A Persian would be really good because for skinning, but I had a bunch and I don't see them too often no more, but the blades with the gut hooks. So you could basically puncture the skin, put the gut hook in, and pull the skin. The back of the blade has that edge in the back, and you can pull down. And I'm not trying to get gruesome or anything, but you can skin an animal. It's a skinner, And when I was thinking about what the best blade shape for hunting slash survival, let's just say hunting slash survival, because if you put just survival into it, does the gut hook really matter? Maybe, maybe not. But I think like a buoy, clip point buoy. Mm, yeah, because you can chop with it really good and skin with it. If you're going to want it for the best of both worlds, you're going to want to be able to skin and process food plus chop, plus, break stuff down. If it's going to be a survival too, if it's just a hunting knife, then you might want that damn gut hook. Thing can get in the way though sometimes. Bree says, if you use scissors, are you just a Canadian? Seems logical. Says obviously the answer is kukri. For the blade shape though, because I'm like, if you have just a kukri, right, that's gonna go good in the jungle or chopping, but not necessarily for processing food, like for a knife. Now for a machete, maybe, for chopping, like I said, processing wood. But if I'm going to carry a knife on my side, I don't necessarily know if I want it to be a kukri. Maybe if it's shorter, 9 inches, maybe 5-inch blade. That's basically what I think a good survival knife is. 5-inch blade, maybe a little bigger. My buck Mesa right here. Actually, it's not too far away. This is a 5-inch blade. This is perfect, man. Best micarta I think I've had yet. Love this micarta, man. I got this thing for $17. $17 on a clearance sale. USA made. I think it's 440. It might be 420 steel, but either way, it does have some recurve. Not going to be the best chopper. It's a hollow grind too. That's another benefit because this thing slices great. Great survival knife. I love that knife. Nice sheath too, and it's reversible. You can flip the belt loop around. Small kukris are decent for cutting game because you use the recurve to trap your cut and it just slides like a gut hook. I could see that. I personally never used one for game, but I could see that. I could totally see that. I think most of the knives that I used for game were clip points, buoys, not bowie knives, but you know, that blade shape, Persians. I've used a couple drop points because my one hunting knife was a drop point, but it just had a decent belly on it and it had a gut hook in the back. I think the thing was $1, if I remember correctly. I had a case with one too that was really nice. Oh, really nice. It had a nice leather sheath and everything. Bree says, I bet 10 people in here use scissors over a knife. Ask me how I know. Because their thumbs are too sore to push the like button. Details are starting. Gotta run. Be back, ass, everybody. Thanks, Abby. See you in a bit. The new bug fix blade with the upgraded materials looks nice. Was featured on Knife Center. I seen one on. If you're talking about the Bugby, is that the one you're talking about, Russ? The Bugby. If that's what you're talking about, I seen it on GP Knives. They have it for sale at GP Knives. I think they have 2 different kinds. I seen that and the new sheep's foot. I think they consider it a sheep's foot, but the sheep's foot Kershaw leak looks pretty awesome. Instead of the Warncliffe, it's got like a clip point, kind of. I guess not a clip point, but you know, it's got the clipped front end for a sheep's foot. Looks pretty awesome. What did Dahmer use? Probably a kitchen knife. Speaking of that, we're actually going to go into stuff like that here just a little bit. We'll wait for that one. So titanium liners versus steel liners. The Buck 119 special. Crab says, like a reverse Tonto. Yes, Poncho. Yes, like a reverse Tonto. Jeffrey Dahmer used his teeth. Why won't it click? Oh, there we go. Like I said, we're gonna get into, well, not Jeffrey Dahmer, but knife stuff about, you know, that type of stuff here in a second. I actually used to have a Cold Steel Raha 3 I used for fish. I could see that. See, I always had honestly for fish, I always had a skinning knife. Literally a skinning knife. Very thin blade, stock Persian blade, nice and long. Those work the best, man. You can cut that head right off, right down the belly. I mean, just works great. Mostly folders and a bit of everything. Says, come on, guys. Why the hate on the scissors? I bet none of you are excited for the CE tactical tweezers either. Check this out. I got some Kershaw scissors here. These are from Kershaw, leather sheath. And they have, I guess you'd call this like a paint can prior, maybe a little pry bar. They're not really flatheads, but that's what they look like, as little flatheads. Then it has the bottle opener, and it easily comes apart. So I guess you could use it as a knife, or you have also a blade right here. I don't know what you would use this for, but maybe for pulling rope or something, or I don't know, something. But I like that it easily comes apart because you can easily sharpen it. I mean, you can sharpen it up so easily. And it just goes right back together. That easy. Look how easy that was. Bam. Bam. They're nice and tight too. Those are pretty cool. Kershaw Scissors. They seem pretty tough. Kershaw Scissors. No shit. Yeah. They're pretty cool too. They look like gaming shears. Yeah, basically, that's what they are. I mean, yeah, because you're right. It's probably gaming scissors because if you, you guys can see it's kind of like a saw blade right there. Not, I guess it's kind of like serrated, but then the other side is a plain edge. So yeah, gaming scissors. So titanium liners versus steel liners. What do you guys think is better? Steel liner, like for liner locks, or titanium liners? A lot of people would say titanium liners because it doesn't rust, it's lighter, right? And pound for pound, it's as strong as steel, but that's pound for pound. What about less weight? Like same exact thickness, same everything. Is steel stronger? I think it might be. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. Maybe I think they're just as strong as each other. But what about when you get to like LC200N liners, like what's in the Waypoint? Now you don't have to worry about rust. Is it stronger though? There goes the focus. There we go. Is it stronger though? I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. I don't know if LC200N steel, because regular stainless versus titanium, I could see the benefits in titanium. But if you start getting some good high grade stainless steels, I don't know. Maybe the steel liners might be better. But you know what though? Maybe not. Now that I actually really start thinking about it, because titanium has better memory. I didn't think of that till just now. Realizing that works says the seems logical. Oh, nice. They've always been one of my favorite shapes. Unfortunately, I can only keep them at home because specifically the kukri shape is illegal in my state. We're going to talk about those laws here in just a minute. Um, because I want to talk about some of those, not just necessarily knife laws, but the gun laws, the things that are going on right now with rights. Mission MPK titanium. MPK titanium. What's the MPK? I don't know. But I think the titanium is always going to be a little bit better because it has better memory. And I seen that tested actually one time where they bent a sheet. So it was a thin sheet of titanium, and then they had the exact same sheet in steel. So what they did was they bent the titanium one into a not an L, but they just bent it. Then they attempted to bend it back after like they formed it into that shape. They tried to bend it back, and they even overbent it and let it go, and it kept going right back into that shape, right back into that shape. They did the same thing with steel, and when they overbent it, it didn't go back into the shape. It went like from this to bending it back to like this. So it literally lost its shape pretty easily compared to the titanium. Yeah, in Nevada, we can have almost anything, including autos, but we can't have kukris because of the state's law from the 80s. That's fucking stupid. That's pathetic, in my opinion. Um, yeah, that's crazy. You can have autos, but you can't have a kukri. Wow. Wow. Has much higher tensile strength. Yes, it's an addiction. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm drunk and trying to spell the best I can, Marie says. What's up, Justin EDC? Thanks for coming. Okay, so next I want to talk about easiest knives to sharpen and why. And I actually just said this in a video the other day, so I'm just going to come around and say it. Civivis. Civivis have been, I've sharpened so many damn knives. I couldn't tell you how many. Couldn't tell you. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. My whole life, thousands. But just, in the past 2 years, definitely hundreds and hundreds. Anyways, hands down, when I sharpen, like if somebody says they want a Civivi sharpened, I already know it's going to be cakewalk, because one, their grinds are so good. Two, and I'm not saying all, because I guess the older Wii knives and stuff, that's a different story. I'm specifically talking about Civivis. Their heat treats are always really good. Their grinds are always super thin. The thinner the grind, the better the sharpening is going to go for anybody. So if you're learning to sharpen or beginning to sharpen, start with Civivis, because it's going to be the easiest for you to learn on. The grinds are usually nice and even and very thin. And the thinner it is, the shorter time you're going to have to spend on the stone. I don't care if you're using freehand, if you're using a fixed angled system, if you're using the new Work Sharp system. By the way, anybody who has stuff I have to send to them, I'm not going to be able to mail out till Monday. I had a rough week, so you're not getting shit till Monday. But yeah. Also, another thing they do very, very well is choils. You find out when you start sharpening, the choils start becoming uh ridiculous. Like there's some choils that, man, they just make life so hard when sharpening. And you just look at it like a 16th of an inch farther, you could have had a good choil, and it starts getting aggravating, because you're like, damn it, I made a smile on my damn knife or somebody else's knife, and now it looks bad. And all they had to do was, move that damn choil or move the plunge grind a tiny smidgen, and everything would have been fine. Mr. C, thanks, bud. Ooh, that's loud. Thank you, Mr. C. I appreciate that. Very much. Thank you. Uh, Monster says the Elite can't go wrong. D2 is pretty tough to sharpen. Takes a while. It's not. Just use diamonds. If you use diamonds, it's easy peasy. I've personally never had a problem with D2. The thing is don't try to take D2 to a high grit. Don't do that. It's not for that. It's for a low grit. Sharpen. If you have two stones, 300 and a 600 grit, perfect. Any D2 will be easy to sharpen. And if you really want to do it, make it really easy for you, use a Civivi, because it'll be nice and thin. It won't take long. It'll take you, I'm not going to say how long, because, I don't want you to think it's going to take that long, but it won't take long. It's actually a lot easier than you think. You just want to use the right stones. Don't use aluminum oxide. Use diamonds. Diamonds will sharpen anything fast. I just sharpened my Civivi 154 CM Brigand, and it was impressive for 154 CM. Also, choils are so nice. Benchmade is good about choils. I like a good choil because, one, it gives me so much more life into my knife. Two, it makes sharpening so much easier. And three, it stops it from looking like shit when you do sharpen. It makes it look nice and clean, like you sharpen it 3 times, but it still looks like it's brand new. I like that about a knife, because to me, that's a knife that's going to last a very long time. A knife that you can sharpen multiple times, and guess what? It still looks like it's on its first edge. I like that. Bang! Knife Sergeant must have just left the other live he was in, because I seen you in there. I'd be watching. Diamonds are Jared's best friend. But yeah, diamonds, it's just the way to go when sharpening. Don't get me wrong, I love all kinds of other stones. I was gonna do a top 5 best sharpening stones, because there are so many. There's Arkansas, aluminum oxide. There's just so many. There's all kinds of ceramic, so many different kinds of stones. But diamonds work for the high performance steels the best. My cousin says, Cannon, say hi. And he misses Uncle Jared. Tell Cam I said, hey, what's up, bud? I miss you too. I love you, man. I love you so much, man. I miss you a lot. Hopefully we can see each other soon. Marvin, thanks, bud. I appreciate that. Thank you, Marvin. I don't do the stickers, so shit out of luck on me doing the stickers, but I appreciate it, though. 4 awesome knives for sale on Knife Sergeant's channel. Check out Knife Sergeant's channel if you want to check out some knives for sale. Oh, did you, Knife Sergeant? You saw that I was live. I was in the live, waiting to go live, the one that you were just in a second ago, and I seen you in there. I'll be following you, stalking and watching. Yes, the dual purpose finger sharpening choil is annoying to me. Wait, hold on. The dual purpose finger sharpening choil. See, I like a good finger choil slash sharpening choil. I don't mind if it acts as a finger and a sharpening choil at the same time. Now, some people don't like the finger choil. Some people just want the sharpening choil, which is great. I like either one. Just give me a damn choil. I don't want to be very far from the blade. So if it is going to be just a sharpening choil, then make sure I can get up nice and tight. I don't want to be back here and then there be no spot for me to get up nice and close. If there's not going to be a finger choil, but I like them both, finger choil or just a sharpening choil. I just want them to be done right. You know, I want the plunge grind to be far away from my edge, like this. Where it's nice and far from the edge, makes it good. Lots of life in the sharpening. Do you ever do lock tests or spine wax? Yes, I actually do. I don't usually do them on camera too much. I have. I mean, shit, I failed one not too long ago. On Monday, you might see a review that where one fails, but I always test the lock like just grabbing it, because to be honest, with a regular pocket EDC knife, I don't never spine whack my knife. So there's no reason for me to test it like that. But sometimes, especially if I feel like, I don't know, I'll look at it, and if it's early, I'll smack it a few times just to see. If the lockup looks strong and it feels solid, there's really no reason for me to do that. Now, if it's a knife that I'm looking at like, hey man, this is a knife that people are gonna want a spine whack, then yeah, I'll smack it a few times against a piece of wood or something. Not nothing more than I'm gonna do with a mallet, because you really don't. It's not like you fucking bang the shit out of your knives. At least I don't. Don't put your fingers in the way when testing. Yes, absolutely. Don't. And what he's saying, because I got messed up not too long ago, but don't check your lock and go like this with your fingers. Get them out of the way like that when you test it. And don't put your fingers on the lock bar, otherwise, it's giving you a false lockup. Gabriel says, it's the burr, just takes longer on D2. Good strap is a must. Well, okay, so a burr, you can get a burr like that if your angle's a certain angle. So, okay, so when you sharpen, depending on the height of your angle when sharpening, like if I'm up here like this, I'm going to get a burr very quick. If I'm laid back like this sharpening, I'm going to get a burr very slow. If my bevel is really big and I'm hitting the back of the bevel when I first start, it's going to take a lot longer to get a burr. Now, if I do a couple swipes on the stone and I see that my sharpening is closer to the edge than the back of the sharpening bevel, then I'm going to get it a lot faster. So that's why I always say watch the grip pattern before chasing the burr. If you watch the grip pattern, you will know how long it's going to take to get a burr, when you're going to get a burr, and when you do get a burr. And you can see how much time it's going to take, when you need to lift a little bit more in when you need to lift a little bit more into your bellies. It tells you everything. Follow the grit. Chase the grit before chasing the burr, then chase the burr. What's a damn Rockstead, Russ says. We got a Rocky right here. What does Kara call it? She calls it something. Every time I call it old Rocky, she calls it something else. Stedman, that's what it is. Stedman. Oh, Stedman. I still haven't put that damn Chris Reeves grease on there. I need to do that soon. Am I blurry? No, I'm not. Yeah, Stedman, Rock Stedman. Monster Racing's never heard of a Rock Stud. Okay, now nice. Oh, so I was going to talk about taking apart your knife. I know some people, it will cut rocks. Yes, right in half. Rocks don't stand a chance. Um, Not to be confused with Stedman. Ooh. Um, how's okay? So is it pronounced Jin or Dijin? I've been so confused. I got it right here. So I've been calling it the Jin, like kind of like like Django, Django. It's just pronounced as Django. I've been pronouncing it Jin. So here's the Jin. I actually put it in my top 5 video today as first impressions. Very awesome. The front flipping action or top flipping action is amazing. It would have been on the list too. I explained that if I, would have been done reviewing it and everything, because I think mostly the video was just about the best top flipping. So it wasn't nothing to do with the knives, just basically about the top flipping action and what is easy, because you can have a great top flipping knife and it might be the best front flipping action ever, but that doesn't mean that it's a good knife. Jared, something about vaping. Jared, all that vaping is gonna give you a popcorn love. It's better than the other smoking I used to do. No, I am going to slow down. This is the vaping is a means to an end. I used to smoke a lot worse, a lot worse. And I quit smoking cigarettes 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and haven't been back since. I've smoked a cigarette since then, but I haven't went back to smoking cigarettes. So, eventually I'm gonna quit these two, but they are way better than them cigarettes, let me tell you. Way better. I think 95% better, something like that. At least that's what my doctor said. I use old school stones, but my Smith Tri-Hone has diamond. Works good, but looking for a smaller kit to buy. I'd get if you're looking for a smaller kit, I'd just get the Work Sharp Precision Guided Sharpener. Unless if you do freehand, get the ultra sharp sharpening stones. $50. You can get a 300, a 600, and a 1200 grit. If you're looking for a system, get the Work Sharp Field Guided Sharpening System, the one we gave away right here. Awesome system. If you have a Lansky, just get some diamond stones for it. The tri-stones are really good. The Smith tri-stones. They have the diamond ones too. Yours says you have diamond, so old school tri-stones. My Smith tri-hone has diamond. Works good, but looking for a smaller kit to buy. Why smaller than a tri-stone? I don't get that. And if you've had it for a while, your diamonds might be wore out. You might just need a new the diamonds wear out. Fuck, I wear out diamond stones all the time. That's why I like those Neeves stones, because they don't wear out very fast. But yeah, if you're looking for something smaller, I'd go with one of those systems. Unless if you like freehanding, then those ultra sharp stones are only 2x6s, just to tell you. The ultra sharp 3 stones for $53 or no $47. I think it equals like $53 after tax or something. They're only 2x6 stones. They're nice and small. You're gonna need a clamp for them though. Todd says I still smoke cigar now and then, but vaping is great. I can taste stuff. Yes, that's how I was, man. I was smoking a pack to 2 packs a day, smoking all night. That food tastes better. I can smell everything. Now, if I smoke a cigarette, I hate it because I smell like cigarettes. I just want to strip my clothes off when I get home because I don't want them to touch nothing. I can taste food. My sinuses are so much better. I pretty much have a lifelong cough because I smoked for 20 years. So, but so much better. I can feel it so much better using these than cigarettes. I mean, like, no comparison. But eventually I do want to quit this too, but I was never good with quitting cigarettes. One, I was quitting a lot of other bad things too. So when you're quitting so many things at once, it's not good, man. It can put you in a bad place and just make you wind up going right back. You should replace a habit with a good habit or with a better habit. So what I did was I chose a better habit. Now I'm going to end up replacing this one with a better one than this next. Might be a while though, so don't count the days. Jared is the mayor of Flavortown now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, it just makes all my food extra spicy. What tech? Where'd it go? Man, I hate when this fucking thing does this. What technique do you use to remove blue Loctite from the pivot when it builds up? You can use a couple different things. Alcohol sometimes works really good. Like if it's on the inside of the pivot or like on the outside. If it's on the outside, just use alcohol, get a rag, twist it off. You can use um nail polish remover. That works really good. Also, but if it's on the inside, then you're going to want to get those really fine Q-tips and put it, spray the Q-tip, then put it down in there and twist it. You can heat it up too. That's another way. I don't recommend it though. I just recommend cleaning it. My mom smoked cigarettes when I was a kid. That was all the reasons I needed to never start smoking. My whole family does. My whole family smoked. I grew up in smoke. I thought it was normal, which it is, I guess to an extent. But everything around me was right after a cigarette. Like I'd be like, Dad, let's go do this. Right after this cigarette, boy. Like that's just the way life was. So it was just normal for me to kind of start, and everybody around me smoked. My sister doesn't smoke though, and she grew up the same way. So it was different though, because like when I was a kid and they gave me cigarettes to try to get me to stop, I just kept puffing. My sister, she took a couple hits and started throwing up. Oh, Jared, he turned blue in the face, but he wasn't quitting shit. I quit cold turkey. Cold turkey, I miss it sometimes. All the other deli meats are inferior in comparison. See, me, I don't want to force myself to do something that I'm not ready for or that I don't like. Put it this way, if I want a cigarette, I'll smoke a fucking cigarette. I don't care. Nobody's gonna tell me nothing. Like I choose to not smoke a cigarette because I don't want to. But if I want to, I'm gonna. I have to do things like that. Like I'm so stubborn and I care about my health now. That's why I don't want to smoke. Otherwise, I would be smoking cigarettes. But since I care a lot about it, I that's why I don't. But yeah, I can't like cold turkey for me. I'll just wind up, my stubbornness will kick in, and that's not good for me. So I like doing it in not with everything with steps, but with certain things. Like I had a bad habit for smoking cigarettes. Like some people say they had a bad habit. They sometimes I think like they don't even know what a bad habit was with smoking cigarettes. I can tell you guys some bad shit when it came to cigarettes. Everybody has their DX2 yet? If not, why are you waiting? I got the DX2 right here. Right here. I love this knife. This is an amazing knife. I'm hoping to get my hands on when he makes the new ones, hopefully with a reverse flicking hole. I actually kind of hope he gets rid of the flipper tab and just puts a reverse flicking hole, man, because it would make it to where you don't have the flipper tab here. I'd be able to get nice and even though I can do this anyways, but now I'm over the edge. I'd like to put my finger right there, but I got the peak right there. But yeah, that'd be really nice. This thing has some badass geometry, but this is also a prototype, so I think it's a little thinner than the production ones. How they came out, it's more like the customs, I think. I'm not sure how thin he goes with his customs though. I haven't tried one of the customs. This is the prototype, the best one, the best. So for sale for $1 million. Chris says, got to get me one for sure. Yeah, you definitely should. You definitely should. 3 packs a day, chain smoking. Jeez, that's how you do it. If you're gonna go all in. Okay, so how many people? 64 people. Now, this isn't set in stone yet. Okay, I just want to say that this is not set in stone. Smokes are like $8 a pack a day. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Shit here, man, if you're downtown, it's gonna cost you 10, $12 a pack. I mean, it just depends on where you're at, but they're normally about $7, $8 here right now. I'm for like Marlboros and Newports. So this is not set in stone right now, but I've been saying we're not going to Blade Show, and I said it because, I don't want to wear masks, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I hate the fucking masks. You guys already know. I might become somewhat of a hypocrite because I got asked, possibly, it's not set in stone, but I got asked to possibly work at Savivi's booth, me and Kara, and I said yes to the offer. It took me about 24, 36 hours to say yes. I had to really weigh the options on whether or not I'd be willing, blah, blah, blah. But, one, I think it'd be good for the channel. Two, I think it'd just be, I want to go bad. I really want to go. I just can't stand them fucking masks. But it'd be a chance for them to pay for the flight. They'll pay for us to work at the booth. I'll get to meet a lot of people. And I think it might be a win-win. I'm hoping they're not too crazy about the masks, but I'm sure they're gonna be. I don't know how they're gonna be. I seen the one in Texas, man. It went good. None of them were wearing damn masks, but we'll see how it goes. I'm sure we're gonna have to, but the point is that if everything goes good and they still want us to, I told them yes. That's why I switched to jewel pods, only half the price. High indeed, too much for me on the smokes. Yeah, the jewel pods, they're getting expensive though too, but you can get a deal. If you order them, you can get 1 pack free every 5 packs you buy, I think. So that's a good deal. But yeah, they're not cheap either, man. And they seem like they keep going up in price the more people they get hooked. I almost went back to smoking cigarettes when they took away the mint, because they had mint flavor, and then they're like, "Oh, it's for kids. It's for kids." The fuck are you talking about? It's for kids. Like, I know kids smoke them, but they're gonna smoke cigarettes otherwise. Like, think about it. Like, if it was about the flavor, do you think kids would have been smoking cigarettes? Like, it's not about the flavor, You could say it's about looking cool or whatever, but that saved more people from smoking cigarettes. And I tried so many other vapes, none of them worked. None of them. I didn't like any of them for some reason. I fucking hated them. Once I got on these, I quit smoking immediately, and right there, I literally never went back. I mean, I carried a pack around with me, and I'd have one every once in a while. But from the day I started using these, I literally just went right to not smoking cigarettes. It was pretty easy too. Smokes about $6. I'm a motivator. There you go. Tricks for kids. Vaping is for adults. Exactly. And there was people that literally went into court to fight it, saying, like, old ladies and stuff, like, the only one I smoke is whatever, raspberry flavor, whatever they said. I forget what they said, but like, trying to argue like that it's not just for kids. I'm fucking 65 years old and this is the only flavor I like. But they still wound up banning all the flavors. And it's like, I'm glad they have menthol though, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would. I don't know. It's kind of weird because when you smoke them, whatever flavor, if you smoke it for like 2-3 days straight, you get used to it pretty quick. But man, switching flavors for me is hard. Like, you give me any other flavor, I fucking hate it. Hate it. I don't smoke, drink only on Saturdays. Well, then you must be drinking now. I guess you did say that earlier that you were drinking. Smoke herb, it's healthier. I agree with that. I have nothing against herb. I don't really smoke it that often, but not that I wouldn't. I'm sure Tricks got cancel culture like everything these days. By the damn flakes. By them damn snowflakes. If my job didn't do random tests, I would be smoking herb. Yeah, I don't have that problem, at least no more, because your boys have been off probation now for a little while. So since I don't have any random drug tests anymore, I just you know, I don't know. I just don't smoke that often. I mean, like, what was it? Yesterday after I worked out at the gym, my buddy asked me if I wanted to smoke. I almost took a hit, but I said, nah, I'm good. Um, I might have me some chocolates though in the other room. I haven't ate them yet. My buddy gave them to me. Who knows if I'll ever eat them. My job also does random drug tests. Yeah, that sucks. Herb is illegal up, and it's decriminalized here in Illinois. Smoke herb filters out the Rona. uh, Before we get our channel taken down, I should make sure I say that none of us are doctors, and this is all just opinion for fucking fact checkers comes in. Uh, that sucks. One of the few benefits of being an independent painting contractor. Yeah, I agree. That's one thing I never had to worry about doing construction or anything or being a contractor or anything. I'm fucking drinking these, but I'm not crazy. Took the fun out of it when they made it legal. Took the damn fun right out of it. Random drug tests are no problem for me. I don't do any drugs, no caffeine, and rarely drink alcohol. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it if you're not doing it, right? That's one thing with me. I don't have to really worry about it either. I mean, I can take a random drug test right now and be just fine. But it sucks for people that do it though. I have a CDL, so no weed. I live in Colorado too. So if you have a CDL, you can't get the medical card or whatever in Colorado. Hmm. That's weird. Um, I would think Colorado would be the one that wouldn't really care. But I guess when you have a CDL, you can't get us for nothing. Nothing. Like I know they're really strict about CDLs, as they should be. I don't know about for weed, but definitely for drinking, because you don't want a trucker on the road drinking, especially if they're hauling fuel or water or gas or anything like that. Liquids definitely can be dangerous. Let's make fun of other Blade reviewers. We got to save that one for an entire video because I'm hoping we can get the other reviewers in here to watch their asses get smoked. They're gonna get smoked for sure. We're gonna have some fun with that. Also, Wednesday, Steve's gonna be here, so me and Steve are going to do a podcast live. Me and Steve. So Wednesdays, live. We're not. I mean, we're just gonna do it like this, but it's just gonna be me and Steve talking. So you guys will be able to chime in and fuck around and bullshit, but mostly it'll be me and Steve. I'm gonna write down a whole bunch of questions. So if you guys have any questions or any topics you want to hear us talk about, definitely leave them somewhere to me, like Instagram, email, something like that, or wait till this video is over, leave it in the comments. I'll see them and I'll make sure we talk about that subject, whatever it is. Okay, so let's make a wager. How many times will Steve say balls? Probably pretty quick. No, we should do. Never mind. I was gonna say every time he does, everybody's got to take a drink, but people aren't drinking. Everybody's got to donate $1. The whole show will just be a bunch of balls. Where's Super Steel Steve? He's been around. He's made a couple videos, but he works during the day, and sometimes it's good to get away from social media and stuff for a little bit. Kara doesn't love him. No, she fucking hates you guys. She hates you guys. I don't even know why you guys would think she likes you. Um, but no, he'll be here. He when I asked him, because I went to him and I asked him, and he said fuck yeah. So I thought that was awesome because I didn't know if he'd want to or not. I know he's not the type to really care. A lot of people might not want to because I tend to talk about controversial shit, and not even just that. Some people don't want their faces being seen. And not saying you have to put your face in. You can face the camera down for all I care. But you know, some people might not want to do a podcast with us. So, and I understand if they don't. Some people might be worried about some of the questions we'll ask or topics we'll talk about. But I know Steve don't give a fuck. So he was the first person I've asked. I've asked. Me and Ray have talked. I know Ray will come on from Everyday City Carry. So I definitely got to set something up for him to come on. Don't know what that was about. Brittany Palmer is so damn hot. Brittany Palmer. Let me take a look. I want to see this bitch now. Brittany Palmer. She better be fucking hot if I'm looking her up. That's all I got to say. I don't want to be looking this bitch up if she's not hot. Brittany Palmer. She better be hot. Where's she at? Okay, so why can't I see pictures of her? There we go. What the fuck? Yeah, she's pretty hot. That's not going to go. You guys can look her up yourself. Yeah, she's not bad. She's pretty good. Not too bad. Don't know why that subject came up, but so is she hot? She's hot. Yeah, she's good looking. She's not bad for sure. UFC card girl. Oh, okay. I didn't even know she was in the UFC. Yeah. I need to catch up, man. Need to catch up for sure. I've been catching up with some of the controversial fights, but I honestly, man, I've been working so much and doing this, and you know, it's taken all my time. The only things I've been able to catch up on is like late at night before I go to bed. I'll catch it. I'll try to catch some of the controversial topics on fights, you know, that are coming up, because if I follow it, then I definitely watch it when it comes out. But yeah, I need to keep up a little bit better. I have not kept up, man, the past couple months, and it pisses me off because that's something I really enjoy. I love fights. That's like my sport. I was never really into football or basketball or baseball. Not saying I didn't, you know, I didn't like them. It's just I wasn't really into them. But boxing and UFC and kickboxing, that was my shit. Evil E's watching the UFC right now. Well, I'm jealous. She was in Playboy. Is she a UFC fighter or is she in Playboy? Which or is she in both? That's awesome. Whatever. Um, that's cool. Don't tell Kara about Brittany. She'll be all right. Kara's not like that. I cannot stand Jake Paul. I hope he gets his ass stomped. I'll be honest. And honestly, talking about that fight before we get into some stories, did you guys see him embarrass himself up on stage with Askren? So him and Askren were up on stage talking, and Askren he was cool, calm, and collective, just sitting there talking, and you could tell Jake was just getting pumped and mad. Man, it made him look like such a beta. It was hilarious. He embarrassed himself, in my opinion. I thought it was embarrassing. Now, I don't discredit. He can fight, man. He can box. He's put in a lot of work. You put in as much work as he has, you're going to be a good boxer. He's, in my opinion, he's progressed better than his brother. When I watched the two spar, this is just based on my opinion, he's grown a lot better than his brother Logan. Logan's still holding his hands down. You know, he doesn't keep his hands up. He keeps them nice and down. He throws from the hip, which I'm not saying he can't fight either, because he can. He's a hell of a boxer. But Jake has progressed a lot faster and better. In the beginning, I thought Logan was better. When I seen them their first fights, I thought Logan was probably twice as good as his brother. Now, a year or two later, whatever it's been, Jake has progressed a lot better. His head movement, his body movement, everything. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, but I'm rooting for Ben. I'll be honest. I'm rooting for Ben. I hope he knocks his fucking head off, but I know he's got a hell of a swing and he can fight. So it's gonna be a war. But I just think Ben Askren, man, He's a warrior, man. I know he's not a boxer, and I don't think he can box very good. I'll be honest. I don't think he can box very good. But what he can do is he can dirty box, and I think like a lot of other commentators have said that Jake's going to be surprised when he doesn't get knocked out. I've seen him in some crazy UFC fights with just getting the shit knocked out of him. He hasn't been knocked out. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Ben is training with one of the best boxing trainers in the planet. Yeah, but they're not training boxing, though. That's the thing. They're not training boxing. They're training dirty boxing. Because anytime you take a fighter, if you don't have long to train, the worst thing for you to do is train them how to do something new. What you want to do is take the things they're good at and work on those. So Ben Askren is great at dirty boxing. That's the type of fighting he does. Is when he boxes, when he stands up and fights, he dirty fights. Like he fights, to get to the ground and just dirty boxing, not real boxing. So the worst thing for them to do is try to start getting him to do professional boxing because it would take too long. His habits are already set in stone. To get him to change habits into a new habit and put it into place into a real fight, he would lose. But if you just focus on the things he's really good at and make them even better, that's when you got a good chance. I do think he is going to try to gas Jake out a little bit. I think he's going to try to get in close and just keep tying him up. He's going to keep tying him up, throwing the shots in close, separate, and get far away. Let fucking Jake throw them haymakers and miss, and then tie up again. I think that's the way he's going to do it. I think he's going to try to take it like that. Jake wouldn't be on anyone's radar, and promotions wouldn't pay him any attention if he wasn't famous. No, absolutely not. I think like as a professional boxer, I don't know. He can probably box a little bit. I don't think he he hasn't been doing it long enough to say that, but I think he can still box. For how long he's been doing, he's put in a lot of work. Yeah, I got to give credit where credit's due. I don't like the fucking guy. Honestly, I hate that fucking guy. But I still am going to give him credit where credit's due. He's been training his ass off, and he's progressed a lot. Jake Paul beat Nate Robinson, then straight to give me Conor McGregor. He's a fucking peck. Yeah. And then come on. It's crazy to think that he's going to beat the best in the world. That's just, you're dumb if you think that that's going to happen. Whatchamacallit, what's his name? Mayweather. Mayweather's going to wipe the floor with him. The floor. There's no chance he can win that fight. I don't care how hard he hits. I don't care how big he is. He doesn't have the head movement. He constantly drops his hands. He doesn't have, I'm not saying he doesn't have any footwork, but Jake's footwork's better than his brother, than Logan's. Logan's gonna get his ass stopped by Mayweather. Should I put a polished edge on Maximet or Toothy going out to Sharpen? I would do either one. Both of them are great. I personally really liked it with a polished edge. It took a nasty polished edge. So if you want a polished edge, Maximet's a great one to do it on. If you want a toothy edge, it takes a nasty toothy edge too. Just make sure you deburr it really good because it takes a very aggressive toothy edge. But like I said, if you're looking for a polished edge, it'll take a really good polished edge. Probably one of the best polished edges you'll find if you can put it, if you want that. Anything can happen in a fight, especially MMA. The fact that anything can happen in a fight, but we're not talking about MMA. We're talking about boxing. But yeah, anything can happen in a fight, but that you can't take away from a professional. That's what I do for a living. That's my life, fighter, versus somebody who just stepped into it and has been being trained by professional fighters. You can't knock them out. They never come back. Lacey says, I've been in the bedroom sewing, but my husband told me about Blade Show and Savivi. Congrats. I'm so proud of you. You two deserve thank you so much. I appreciate that, Lacey. Thank you very much. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Don't be like Slicey. Jared, he is a liberal. Well, that's not me, brother. I'm damn sure not a liberal. What made you say liberal to me or be like a liberal? He'll get outboxed for sure then. I thought you were talking MMA. No, just straight boxing. If they were fighting MMA, Mayweather and him, I couldn't say who's going to win that because he's wrestled before. I think he would probably win. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not though, because Mayweather's such a good boxer. So that would be the way to go. That's the show I want to see. But it's straight boxing, and then in that case, you already know who's going to win. It's so far away. She can take the 3 days off. It's 3 or 4 days. It's not a big deal. So Kara, she'll have somebody hold it down. Sugar Shane O'Malley is fighting tonight. Is he? I'll try to watch it after this. I'll definitely try to watch it after this. So let's get into some stories, and then I'm sure we can get into some more of these crazy ass topics. So I don't know if I should get into this one because this one's what time is it? 8:51. Yeah, we got time. Today's Saturday. I'm supposed to cut out at like 9 o'clock. So I'm not gonna be able to get through all these stories, but I'll get through a couple of them. I was gonna tell a story about me and Kara getting arrested together and the situation that happened, but man, that might take a little while. Yeah, I don't know, man. Some of these are so I'll just get into this really quick. Because as of right now, you guys know that they're trying to do these gun rights things and restrict guns and talking about stopping ARs and stuff like that. And I just gotta say, anybody that can do anything to be against it in any way should be. So let's talk about the facts really quick. The facts are in 2019, what was it? 364 deaths were from rifle, not ARs, rifles altogether. Now there was a 22 Plinken rifle or a 223, just all mixed in rifles in general. 364. You know how many people died from bare hands, from legs, feet, stomping, choking? 600. Okay, 600. Next, knives. You know how many knives? How many deaths were from knives? 1,476. Yet we're talking about banning high capacity or what they say assault rifles. You know where that word came from? Assault rifle? Hitler. That's who made that up. And then the news started bringing it out and using it as a scare tactic. Assault rifle. And I'm sure you guys already know that AR doesn't stand for assault rifle. I don't know why they tried to make it seem like AR stands for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite. But back to the deaths. Most of those deaths, those people weren't allowed to have guns anyways. The majority of them were already criminals and it was like a murder. So it was not like they were law-abiding citizens that had their firearms. They were already banned from them. So you take them away from the public that needs them to protect themselves or protect themselves from a tyrannic government, then you're just leaving them unarmed. And now the crime will go up. Anytime they take guns away from people or disarm people, crime goes up because the criminals can still get them. Heroin's illegal, right? Heroin's fucking illegal. Yet everybody can get heroin, right? So many things are illegal, yet people get it. So if you take it away, it'll just make it to where the crime goes up, as it always does. The most crime-ridden areas in this country are the places with the most strictest gun laws. The places that are the best to be in, the least crime-ridden places, have the best, in my opinion, best meaning like there's the lowest gun laws. Like there's, hardly any gun laws. So to take them away from the public means your crime will go up. It means more criminals will get them and be able to use them because they know the law-abiding citizen, you don't have one. So it's so pathetic. Then what do you go after next? Because once you figure out that, wait a second, the rifles weren't the ones doing all the damage, it was the pistols. Then they're going to come after the pistols. Then they're going to say, well, knives in 2019 killed more people than the rifles. Why don't we take away knives, even though it's probably mostly kitchen knives? When does it stop? When does it end? Don't let that happen. Like whatever we can do to fight against any type of restrictions, you got to, man. It's kind of like even like figure of speech, right? Like somebody just a second ago was saying that Slicey Dicey, he's a liberal, right? Good for him. The liberals are the ones trying to stop the freedom of speech. He's a comedian. Doesn't he want that freedom of speech? I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying, but that's where it's coming from. You don't hear anybody on the right, and I'm not saying everybody on the right is perfect or good. I think they're just in bed as everybody. But I'm just saying you don't ever hear it from that side because that's usually the side trying to protect your constitutional rights. And the other side's always trying to take because they want the government they want to look at the government as their daddy, and I don't like that. I'd rather me be responsible of me, not another person say what's good for me. Fuck that. I don't think that's good. So that's why I can't fall on that side at all. If you look at history and what's happened in history between the KKK, slavery, and just everything, it's always been the liberals. It's always been the Democrats. It's always been them. And everybody in history that's taken away the guns and tried to restrict freedoms has always been the bad guy. It's never been the good guy. So, I mean, fuck, man. Which side do you want to be on? I mean, and especially when you start looking at the facts, look at the facts, and it tells you that this is a bad idea. When you look at, okay, well, has taking away the guns ever worked? No, it's always made crime go up. Okay. Is it even the most dangerous thing we're looking at right now? No, it's not. So if we take it away, is it going to be harder for them to get? No, it won't. Like, or for criminals to get, I should say. Like, so what you're talking about is what they're worried about, because they're not worried about the murder rate. If they were worried about the murder rate, they would be trying to tell you to eat healthier, because the highest thing that kills anybody in America is heart disease. McDonald's, Burger King, soda pops, Coke, Pepsi, all this shit, sugar, but yet they promote that fucking constantly, right? It's not about deaths. It's about them being able to inflict power. You can't inflict power if the people have the power. And the people only have the power if they have the fucking guns. Just like, and I hate to go this deep, but just like Germany, we're literally, it almost seems like we're literally using their playbook. It's like the Nazis sent over a playbook and said, here, this is how you create a communist country, right? This is how you take control. This is how we did it, during the Holocaust. And it goes, step 1, take away the guns. Step 2, restrict their freedoms. Step 3, you know what I mean? It's like, create a pandemic. Step 4, make the neighbors hate each other and fucking create violence against each other. Start calling each other names and labeling this so that people start using it against each other. Oh, he's a Nazi. Oh, he's a racist. Oh, he's a this. Oh, he's a liberal. He's a Republican. Come on, man. We got to wake the fuck up. It's all about control. It 100% is. And it sickens me. And I can see like, I don't know, 10 people just left. And I don't care. I don't care at all. Like, to me, it's like, I don't have a side, right? I don't pick a side. I don't pick a side because I don't trust either one of them. But I damn sure don't trust the ones trying to restrict my freedoms or rights the most. If I walk outside, there might be two things out there that are dangerous. The one that's the most dangerous is the one I'm going to worry about the most. Not the one that's the least dangerous, in my opinion. It's kind of like they're trying to spread all this like this white supremacist bullshit when it's all bullshit. Like, look up the white supremacist stuff. I mean, it's never we don't have it. Like, we literally don't have it. I think in a couple of years there were like 13 arrests. 13 arrests. Fuck, there was 13 people killed in Chicago yesterday or something. That's not the truth, but I don't know. I'm just saying, like, that's not our biggest threat. We're not worried about that. Like, let's be fucking real right now. And most people know that. Jesus Christ is the truth. Yes, Gabriel, yes. And it's kind of weird, like that, just everything that's happening right now. When you start looking around and looking at the control they're trying to get through, whether it's the pandemic, and then you look at the pandemic and you start looking at the numbers, it's like, where did the flu go? Where did the colds go? Where did old age go? Because it seems like all those things just disappeared, and then people say, oh, well, it's because of the masks, and the social distancing. Yeah, you think so? Then why the fuck ain't it working for COVID? All right, like, so you're telling me that it makes COVID worse, but it just disintegrates the flu and the cold virus? Go fuck yourself. Right? If you're that naive, yeah, come on, be real. And I think we need to start being careful with the freedoms we're giving up. Or giving up way too many. And we have presidencies that are in bed with other countries that they shouldn't be, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. We need to wake up. We need to stop with the hatred of each other and start banding together. We're supposed to be in control. It's not the government that controls the people. The people control the government. People need to realize that. What are we doing? Like, wake up, people. Like, quit spreading all this Nazi racist bullshit that doesn't exist and talking about and giving views to the news. Thank you, Mr. C. That doesn't ever give you the full story. They're always going to give you a story that's never the truth. It's always it's kind of like those videos that leaked, right? Those videos that leaked from the news, and it leaked showing that they were telling them what not to talk about, what to talk about, what subjects to stay away from. And it's like, that's not how journalism goes. Journalism works. The journalists learn the information, then they bring it to you, and then they present it as they learned. That's not what happens. It's a television show, but people are actually watching. Why are we giving? I wouldn't watch them. Fuck that. I don't want to give them views because, like, it's like, why do you think they want to keep talking about it? It's like everybody's making money right now off of this. Of course they want it. Like, why wouldn't they want COVID? They want COVID here. Trust me, the news wants it here. The fucking government wants it here. They all want it here. China really wants it here because they're fucking getting billions of dollars a year from us. All the big fucking companies are getting rich while all the little companies are just disintegrating. The news organizations are getting views every time they say the word, every time you get scared that they scare you of it, even though they won't give you all the information. Oh, some guy died from COVID. And it's like, well, give me more information. uh how old was he? What type of lifestyle did he have? Did he have any other issues? You know what I mean? Like, what was his immune system like? What was his genetics like? Did he have any other comorbidities? Like, let's be fucking real. They don't give you anything of the full story, and it makes it to where you hear a smidgen of a story and you think that that's the way it went. It's like you're not getting the full fucking plate. And when they do that, what's up, Chuck? um when they do that, it makes it to where you're misinformed, right? And then they use it, but they're making money. They're making money because people are watching, right? It's kind of like after Trump, all their shit went down through the floor, So now what do they got to use? COVID. They need COVID. COVID's what's getting them views. So if you hear anything about COVID, just know they're searching for that shit. They need it. They want it. And when you have smoke and mirrors, yes, smoke and mirrors. Thank you. Yes, exactly. And then you got other countries doing the same thing. And it's almost like, what is going on right now? It starts making you wonder, like, how in depth this goes. But getting away from the conspiracy talk, I was gonna tell some stories, but man, it's already getting so late, 9:05, and I told old girl, little fit devil, that I would hang it up after 9 so she can get on. So I guess we'll hang it up here. I don't like COVID. It's annoying. Anything. Where to go? I saw a YouTube video of the authorities picking bodies of COVID victims in China. Pay no attention to them, man. The curtains, the great and the powerful Oz has spoken. Absolutely. Bree says, I've lost it. It's a free for all after an hour. You never know where it could go. Absolutely. I actually had like 10 stories written down. I was going to tell about some stories about getting arrested with Kara, and I was going to like go down the story list of how and why. And then I had some party stories that had other people in it. Hey, thanks, bud. Sorry, but I'm pessimistic of the turnaround. People are stupid. People voted us here, stupider every election by survival. Do you really think I'm not going to go down that path? But I think you're stupid if you think they voted them in. That's all I gotta say. And I don't. I meant no disrespect. That was just me. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I don't think I need to go down that path. I don't think anybody is that dumb. You can see. You can see. Look at the views, the view counts. Look at the subscribers. Look at the ratings. Look at the crowds. Right? Somebody who got more fucking votes than any president in history has literally nobody in his crowds. You got to be shitting me. Yet the guy that would have gotten second has crowds bigger than anybody. Right? Look at the view counts when, like, during anything when he's on. Like, the view count is so tiny. Yet the other guy has massive amounts. I mean, it's pretty easy to look at when you start looking at everything. Like, yeah, I don't think a lot of people like him as much as it's. I know there's a lot of people that voted for him. I'm not saying there's not. I'm just saying it's not. It was. I don't think it was that many. In my opinion, I don't think it was that many. I really don't. Yes, Biden's rallies were a joke. Yes, absolutely. A fucking joke. So you're not going to tell me that guy got more fucking, come on, than Obama? I mean, come on. Everybody loved Obama. Everybody. I mean, and his crowds were massive. Everything on him was massive because he actually got that number. That's why. Liberals make fun. Absolutely. That's my point. Like, I can think of probably 20 liberals right now that are ashamed. They're so ashamed of what's going on, and I can't blame them. I think everybody makes fun of them, teases them, and knows, like, this is scary, man. I mean, this guy, he's not fit for presidency, in my opinion. Jared, what is your favorite beer brand? I don't really have a favorite. I don't really have a favorite. I don't really drink beer, to be honest. I mean, I'll drink a beer. If you want to drink a beer with me, I'll drink a beer, but I don't have a 6-pack in the fridge or nothing. But I'll drink. I just don't drink that often. Yeah, I think I remember. I just wanted to see what he still thought of it now. What? I didn't catch that. His rallies are probably snail because of COVID and stuff. I can't agree with that, because when Black Lives Matter were doing rallies in the cities, we had I mean, I was even affected at work. I mean, you were talking about everybody was street partying and fucking everywhere chaos, right? They mask or no mask. They have people that show up in lots of places, right? Masked up, but yet his rallies got nobody, got people sitting 12 feet apart, and there's only 10 of them or whatever. No. If you got 84 million votes, I don't care. You could say like COVID affected it, right? But then that means there'd be 20,000 people then, right? Instead of 50,000. Like that would be the difference. It wouldn't be 10, 20 people. Do you know what I mean? Like that's affected so much. You wouldn't be literally chased out of states. States chased him out. Like I can't agree with that. I think it would affect it a little bit, but not like that. Not to that extent. Not to the extent. Okay, and if that's true, then where are the views? The views, because when he does things, meaning like the election, when he got sworn in and stuff, right? Look at Obama's when he got sworn in. Look at Trump's when he got sworn in. Their views were very high. His when he got sworn in were nothing. Like that says everything. Nobody had to leave to do that. All they had to do was turn on the screen. That says a lot. A view count says a lot. Followers says a lot. How many followers do you have? How many likes do you get? How many this do you get? He doesn't, especially compared to people that actually got those numbers. You can just compare them. It's kind of like when you see, put it this way, it's kind of like when you see the channels that have 50, I'm just making numbers up right now, but channels that have like 10 million subscribers, right? But then when you see their videos, they have 5,000 views. And then they have 5,000 views with 100 likes or something. You know that channel is buying subscribers. They don't have those subscribers. Like those are computerized subscribers. You can look and tell the channels that buy likes and buy followers. It's very easy to see. You can see it a mile away. The percentage doesn't add up. And it's a fact that they do that. I get them all the time on my thing trying to sell me followers. And people actually do it. Just like they'll buy views, they'll buy this, they'll buy that. And you can tell. Okay, put it this way. Say if a video has 50,000 views, but only 100 likes. They bought the views. They didn't, if they had 50,000 views, they would have thousands of likes, not 100. So you can tell right there that is an account that bought views. It's kind of like the same thing. The views don't lie. Kennedy today would be considered a Republican by today's standards. Probably. I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of old liberals would be considered. I think a lot of them today are now because I've seen, put it this way, I've seen so many liberals move over, even though they still call themselves liberals, they still call themselves Democrats, but you can see they've moved over to the Republican side, at least for what they believe in. And you don't ever see that the opposite way. Why? Why don't you see thousands of Republicans that moved over to the liberal side? You don't, because it's just, it's different. Like you're not willing to sacrifice those things, especially when it has to do with what's created arguably the best country in the world, right? It's our freedoms and it's our Constitution. Without that, we're Russia, we're China. We need those. We need that. We have to have the power over the government. If we don't have the power over the government has the power over us and can do anything to us. Look at what they're doing when we have the power now, let alone when we don't. It's crazy, man. Check and go right to Snopes. Fact checkers will be the only fire if fact is wrong, even if it's off. No, they'll fact check it if it's right. They don't care about that. I've watched so many. Like they have a bunch of lawsuits right now. People have lawsuits like crazy because what they do is I seen one where you can see it's clear as day. Even Mike Emler, he got fact checked, and then they came back saying something that he didn't say. So like it was something about a generator, right? It was a an electric like charger or whatever for like a car or something. or something like that that was being ran by a diesel generator. That's clear as day. You know, it's a generator. And he said something about it. And then they said, no, fact check. It was not a diesel van or something. And he's like, what? I never said anything about a diesel van. So they just lied. Then somebody else, what they did was they just got like the person stated a doctor's statement, a doctor of like 40 years, their opinion on something and their testing, like their results, right? So if I'm a doctor, right, and I said I've had this many patients and this is my results on giving this medicine, well, then they just get somebody, another doctor from the other side of the country that says I disagree with this statement, and then fact checkers comes in and says this doctor from, you know, Branson, Missouri says he disagrees with this statement, blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit. And you know who runs fact checkers? You guys even know who runs fact checkers? A guy who used to work for CNN. You really, how credible you think that is? Come on. It's a company that's designed to lie to you is being or is now running. The guy who used to work there is now running that. Come on. They all live in like the same place and everything. All these guys. I think it's hilarious that people don't know this. Like that people don't know that all these people live in the same city and they're all friends. At least the majority of them. Ted Cruz is trying hard. I don't know if I trust him. I don't know if I trust him either, but the way he talks, I like the way he talks sometimes. I'll give him that. I don't trust any of them, to be honest. I don't trust none of them. Yes, CNN is hilarious, but hilarious in a scary way, though. Like hilarious in a way like people believe this, like, or it's very easy to look up information. Like, why would you get your information from somebody designed to, you know, to lie to you? Zach says, "Howdy, Lindy Lou." I don't dislike Ted Cruz. I don't know if I like him. I like what he says sometimes. I love hearing him ream some of these guys in court. I can't say I trust him because I don't trust none of them motherfuckers. But I think he's got our best interest versus somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, when I hear him arguing I heard him destroying Dr. Fauci with the mask stuff. And so to me, I'm clapping. I'm loving it. But sometimes I trust them about as far as, you know, like until they can get paid off, I guess. Because I think a lot of it's that. Or, you know, being black. I think mostly it's blackmail, I think. I think it because think about it, blackmail makes people do what you want. You know, a payoff isn't as strong. Zach, you motherfucker. Where are all the customs at? Just seeing if anyone hit up ICC Blade Show. Well, we were talking about it earlier. I might be going to the Blade Show in Atlanta if everything goes through correct. But yeah, I don't know what everybody got. That would have been the one to go to, though, man. To be honest, is the other one. I should have went to that one. You seriously like Red or Ted Cruz? Goodbye. Best interest. You are so seriously out of touch with reality. Okay. See you later. I don't know if I ever said that I like Ted Cruz, but I think I said I don't trust him and I don't like him. Well, I didn't say I don't like him. I said I don't trust him, but I like hearing him defend the things that I believe that are defendable. If that makes you run because I have a different opinion than you, get the fuck out of here. I mean, I've always said that from the start. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and fucking powder your ass for you and make you feel better. Fuck. I mean, I have my own opinions. Who says they have to match yours? That's the beauty of being in a fucking America. And that's what I hate about fucking the bullshit right there, because I don't have to agree with you. You don't have to agree with me. You can tell me I'm a cocksucker. I don't give a fuck. I mean, that's the beauty, right? That's what we want. We don't want to live in a country where we all fucking agree on everything. If that was the case, think about it. I mean, then you would be condemned for having a difference in opinion. How can we ever have a conversation if that's the way you act? Ted Cruz sucks. Good. See, there we go. Let's put it up there. That's the shit I want to hear. Fucking If you want to say something like that. Ted Cruz sucks. Yeah, perfect. I don't give a fuck. I don't know the guy. Fuck, I don't know the. I mean, think about it. I don't know the fucking guy. For all I know, he's being blackmailed to say what he's saying. I don't know. But I know when I see him in court defending things that I believe in, then yeah, I'm going to clap for him. Because to me, it's like that's what I want argued. I want rights defended. I don't want people having to walk around fucking wearing masks that don't work. I don't want people getting their guns taken away from them for murders that barely exist. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, that are false, anyways. They're all from people that can't have guns, anyways. So taking them away from people that fucking aren't committing the crimes that are law abiding citizens would be stupid. Like, to me, that's fucking stupid. And if you look at it in the history, it's never worked. It's only raised the crime up. Look at the most dangerous places in America. They all have the worst or the strictest gun laws. So by taking them away, you're making your city turn into that city. Is there a Waffle House close to this show? 4th through the 6th is, yes, thank you, Lindy Lou. Yes, 4th through the 6th is Blade Show in Atlanta. Can't wait. I hope it's nice and warm. Jared says, Neeves, the hero we didn't know we needed. I'm not going to pretend like that. I mean, I said it, like from the start, like I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I believe in something I don't. I'm not going to agree with things I don't. And I'm not going to come out here and oh shit, looks like Canada's here. Are we back? Ooh.